Hello, friends. Thank you very much for joining me for my new podcast episode where I talk about my knitting project, and my new designs on which I'm working on. It's been some time from my recent podcast episode, but I had quite busy and productive time, and today I'm very excited to share some of my finished projects, a few published designs, as well as my new design, which I'm working on currently. So I'd like to start with my quiet season sweater, which I'm knitting for myself. I already showed this last time, and I had many problems with this design. And if you haven't watched this episode, just in few words, I've got two problems. First problem, I did not have enough yarn, so my new yarn came from different dye lot, and it has obvious color difference. And my second problem was wrong gauge for the sleeves. So my first emotional feeling, was to unravel this project and start knitting with a new yarn, because in this state I can't use this project for the pattern. So I definitely found another yarn and started a new sample, and as you can see, I almost completed my sample. I knitted it in the same yarn, which is Drops Puna, but it's in light beige, and I really like this color. And all I left to do is complete the cuff for the second sleeve, and the sweater will be ready for pattern testing. With my original sample, as I said, I wanted to unravel it straight away, but I took a small time out and I posted this in my Instagram page and asked people opinion. Most of knitters said that I need to leave this project and finish my sleeves and start wearing this. So I was hesitated a bit, but I'm happy now that I didn't forget. Looks like I found the solution. I'm going to continue the cuffs for my sleeves with the same dye lot like on ribbon on the bottom hem of the sweater's body, and I've got an idea to transform this sweater into the Christmas jumper. If this idea would work, I will share this with you next time. Also, I was thinking a lot about my gauge problem. I tried to knit sleeves with on my second sample. I tried to knit sleeves with bigger circular needles than I used for the body, and looks like it worked perfectly. Apart from that, I need to experiment more and find how bigger needles should be for the sleeve to match the gauge on the body of sweater. So for my second sample, to save the time, I decided to knit sleeves back and forth. It saved me time and I don't mind seaming. At least there are just sleeve seams in the sweater. It doesn't change design because it's, as I said, it's my personal problem, and this is depend on how I hold my circular needles, how I control my working yarn, and how I knit my stitches. So I'm going to continue, and I hope I will be able to complete both of those sweaters by the end of next week. Yeah, and share some results with you. My next project, which I also mentioned in my previous episode, it was my pair of socks for my husband. And as I said, I also had a problem with this pair because I've got difficulties knitting with dark yarn on thin knitting needle. So I'm not going to share many details about this project. All I want to say is that this pair is completed earlier than I expected. I need just weave in those yarn ends, and I will be ready to pass this pair to my husband. So yeah, I just need to remember for next time when I decide to ask somebody to help me with the color choice for something, that it's me person who is going to deal with this color, with this yarn, and who is going to knit it. So next time I will ask to choose between few shades which I like, rather than offer to choose between like 20 of colors, and ask, do you like this color or this color? Yes or no. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to knit this type of stitches in dark color next time. Although I like the result, but yeah, the knitting process wasn't so enjoyable, and it wasn't as fast as I expected. So yeah, this pair is finished. And my next project is my brand new design, which I'm working on, and for which I spent quite a long time playing with stitches and with swatches. And this is my new knitted hat. This hat was inspired by two of my previous designs. One is Winterberry ear flap hat, in which I used this cable and this beautiful brioche rib. And another design, it was my Trimetry hat, Trimetry bucket hat, which has similar shape to this one, but it's knitted with absolutely different stitches for both for hat body, for hat crown, and for hat brim, in totally different technique. And the knitting for Trimetry hat started from the crown section down to the brim, but for this one I wanted to knit the hat differently, started from the brim, make it absolutely seamless, create the shape which looks more like proper hat, or like not like Panama hat, proper stylish hat or proper bucket hat. So you can see the result. I think it's turned it out beautifully. I just took it out from my blocking mat, and it still sits on my towel which I used for blocking of hat. And I can demonstrate the hat on myself. You can see the brim holds its shape quite perfectly. It can be worn like Panama hat with lower brim, or it can be folded slightly up and worn like proper hat, which I really like. Yeah, it's quite stylish and pretty for the winter and looks a bit unusual and different from other hat designs. As I said, I spent quite some time playing with the stitches, and for this hat I had two main problems to solve. One was the brim, which should keep its shape, and another problem was I wanted to make the crown section flatter than it's normally in knitted hats. So here it was my very first sample. I had no problem with stitch combination. As I already said, I took this from my previous design. But I had a problem with the brim. You can see originally it looked without any, looks like it had no increases or decreases, but actually quantity of stitches on the bottom and here is different, but you can see no difference. Yeah, then I tried to knit the brim a bit differently. Actually this sample was reknitted few times, and here not final result but some kind of result. Yeah, then I started knitting the hat with yarn in beige color, and as you can see I almost completed the sample, but my brim doesn't look pretty, doesn't look straight, it looks more like flimsy, doesn't keep shape, maybe narrow, but the quantity of stitches here is the same as on my gray finished sample. So after this sample I spent another day playing with stitch gauge, with different sizes of knitting needles, and finally I found solution and knitted this hat. And my second task was to make this crown section as flat as you can see it here, and I needed to create some kind of transition from body of hat to the crown section, and I think I got it. I found solution and I made it. I hope it looks nice. Actually, I like it. Yeah, I'm happy with this project, and I'm currently working on a pattern. I think I will include some photo tutorials for the edge of brim, because you can see edge of brim has different stitches here than the length of brim, and also I will need to include tutorial for how to knit this section, transition from the body of hat to the crown section. Maybe I will record a video tutorial for those moments as well, but so far I'm happy with the result, and I'm currently on a final stage of the pattern. I also need to take some proper photos for test knit, but I don't know when I can do this because the weather here in Wales quite dull and rainy and cold, and I need proper light for taking photos. Also, I'm planning to knit probably one or two other sizes in different yarns, because my girls love this hat as well and they do want similar ones in other colors. And because I want not just see how it hat looks in other colors, but also want to play a little bit more with the hard brim and with light, with yarn textures. Obviously, I want to see this hard knitted in lighter color like this one, or maybe in light gray like this one, but I don't have this yarn anymore. I just had enough yarn for those samples. And also I want to try to add mohair yarn to the my lighter hat, but it could cause some problem with the shape of brim. Anyway, I will try and see if I can sort it out and make something beautiful. So here was my another finished sample. Last time I showed you the finished sample for my morning mist hat and scarf set, and I was talking about test knit for this hat, or for this set, for scarf and for the hat, and now I'm happy to let you know that the test knit is finished and pattern has been published to Ravelry and Lovecraft. I'm so happy with the result and with the test knit. My test knitters knitted quite a few beautiful projects, beautiful scarves. Some of them used brighter colors than I used, and both the hat and scarf turned out very beautiful. And as I said, the pattern is already available from Ravelry, and pattern for the scarf comes in two widths. So the smaller width would be great for children, and the length of scarf is adjustable as well, and it depends from the central section of scarf. While you can't actually control the length of those ends, but you can simply adjust the length of central straight section of the scarf. One of my test knitters decided to knit a very short scarf, so she knitted just ends of this scarf in this pretty stitch and a few rows between them. So the scarf turned out beautiful, like mini scarf, and also she used two colors, so she made it with stripes. It was a bit unexpected, but I really love how it looks. So if you are looking for some simple pattern with a bit of modern fancy twist, you can check this design, because it's quite fast and easy to knit, and it would make a great gift or present for yourself or for somebody for Christmas time. I'm also thinking about recording a short tutorial for this scarf, because here I used some interesting techniques for how to shape the edges. The photo tutorial for this technique is added in the pattern, but maybe for somebody a little video tutorial will be more helpful. So I'm currently working on this video tutorial, and I hope to share it soon. Also, recently I published two videos for some sweaters in my YouTube channel. First video, it was very quick review of 7 children's sweaters for winter or for autumn. Most of them were beginner-friendly projects. Where in this video I talked about designs, about inspiration, about yarn choices, about some techniques I used shared some photos and some examples. And of course, I described the yarn, sizes, and gave some recommendations about modifications, color choices, and other advices. So if you're looking for some inspiration for your next knitting project, or looking for some good pattern or good design for your child's sweater, you're welcome to check this video. I will add the link for the video in description to this video. And another published video was tutorial for how to knit my quiet season sweater. Actually, for this sweater which I'm working on right now, but as you might know that I already published child pattern for this sweater, so I recorded the full length video tutorial where I share absolutely all techniques used in this pattern. I showed all techniques. I shared some useful tricks how to avoid probably some mistakes. And even if you don't plan to knit this sweater, I think it might be useful to watch this video, especially, for example, if you've got some problems for how to pick up stitches for the sleeves along the armholes, how to spread stitches correctly and evenly so it looks nice and flat. You can see this sweater haven't been blocked yet, but my transition from body of sweater to sleeve armhole edge looks pretty. It's no any like folds or wrinkles, anything. So if you're interested to find out how to do this correctly, how to do this easily, it might be useful to check this video. Also, in my video I show how to work all increases from right side and wrong side, how to knit this textured grid stitch for neckband and for sleeve cuffs, and also how to knit a proper neckband, as well as how to finish knitting in the round and make it pretty and invisible. Here you can see I haven't waved in the yarn ends yet, but transition from end of round to begin of round looks quite neat. So yeah, if you fancy to find out some new techniques or some method how to improve your knitting, or how I knit my projects, which techniques I used, you are welcome to watch this video. Maybe it will be helpful. Thank you very much for watching this video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was interesting for you to see my latest knitting news about my recent published designs and about design which I'm working on now. And also, as a thank you for your time and support, I'd like to offer you 15% off on my two recently published patterns, which is child version of quiet season sweater and my recent set morning mist hat and scarf set. So both those patterns will be available with 15% off from Ravelry. To take advantage of the offer, please use code U15 to get your discount. Thank you for watching again, and until next time, happy knitting!